They shout, they scheme, they rage, and I remain. Every spark they hoped to ignite, every needle aimed to provoke, falls flat. I watch, I wait. The chaos of their making swirls round me, and yet I do not stir. Their fury, their desperation, their need to measure power through my reaction, it's transparent, fragile, childish. I was once expected to dance, once compelled to respond, to rise to their theatrics. I see now that they are nothing more than storms searching for a lake, unaware that I am still water beneath the storm. I am the mountain that cannot be moved. I am the lake that does not ripple, and yet it cuts them deeper than any shout, any anger, any fury I could have thrown. They crave attention. They feed on the tremor of my response. But I withhold. My calm is not absence. My stillness is a blade. Each unspoken word, each gaze turned away, each silence held, reverberates louder than 1,000 arguments. I am untouchable. I am unshakable. And already, in my quiet, they falterly remember the chains. I remember the strings. I remember dancing to rhythms I never chose, performing roles I never wrote. Their expectations were shackles, their manipulations, cages. I gave them my energy, my empathy, my reactions, and they wielded it as a weapon. I danced to their chaos. I laughed when I wanted to weep. I agreed when I wished to rebel, until I stopped, until I ceased to perform. The strings snapped, the chains fell. Silence became my shield. Silence became my sword. And in that quiet, I became untouchable. Pain, yes, it sharpened me. Frustration, yes, it fueled me. Every attempt to manipulate, every demand for drama, every expectation became a lesson etched into bone and fire. I realized that silence is not weakness, that restraint is not cowardice. It is mastery, it is power. I no longer give them the performance they crave. I no longer feed the theater of their need. Each withheld reaction is a declaration. I answer to none. I move for none. I exist for myself. And in that reclamation, I feel something intoxicating. Autonomy, liberation, dominion. They claw, they yell, they stumble over shadows I no longer cast. Their foundations, they crumble beneath the weight of their dependence. Structures built on my engagement falter, shake, collapse, and I remain untouched. I observe, with precision, the artistry of their unraveling. Every gasp, every tremor, every frantic motion is poetry in motion. They search for sparks that I refuse to give. They beg for echoes that I no longer offer. Their chaos is symphonic, and I am the conductor who has stepped away. Indifference is my instrument. Detachment is my strategy. They rage, they despair, they claw at nothing, and I remain. They cannot pierce my calm. They cannot fracture my composure. Each unraveling around me confirms what I have come to know. Silence wields a force sharper than fury, deeper than anger, more devastating than confrontation. I am not cruel. I am deliberate. I am precise. The void they hoped to fill with my reaction now devours them. And in the absence of my engagement, their fragility is exposed, raw and undeniable. I am no longer the candle they lit to illuminate their shadows. I am the storm that outlasts their fury. I am the calm that follows the tempest, the shadow that absorbs the sun, the silence that renders all noise meaningless. Every obligation I carried, every expectation I met, every role I played has been reframed as a lesson. Pain became insight. Exhaustion became clarity. Manipulation became a mirror. And I learned to see myself reflected, untamed and unbound. I move not for them. I respond not for them. I exist for myself. Each repetition of this truth burns brighter than the last. The quiet dominance I have cultivated is not by chance. It is intentional. It is deliberate. It is mine. I have reclaimed the center of my own existence. I am autonomous. I am sovereign. And every glance, every attempt to provoke, every whisper of expectation that comes my way falls against the armor of my indifference. I am free, not loud, not brash, not violent, free, and the strength in this freedom. It is quiet. It is lethal. It is absolute. They grasp for what is no longer there. They search for sparks I will not ignite. They claw at the empty air, their desperation echoing in halls I have left silent. Madness becomes their inheritance, and I, the unseen architect, I watch and I feel the thrill of observation. Their frantic attempts to provoke, to manipulate, to reclaim control are exquisite in their futility. Every falter, every stumble, every cry is proof of the power I now hold. I do not act. I do not react. I simply exist. And in my presence, or rather, in my absence, they unravel. They called me weak. They called me kind. I called myself free. And now, I watch them drown in the consequences of their need. They claw. They scream, they falter, and I remain. This is the intoxication of restraint, the subtle, invisible authority, a quiet dominance that demands recognition without uttering a single word. I am untouchable, I am feared, and they are undone by nothing more than the absence of my engagement. I answer only to myself. My stillness is my strength. Their dependence, my liberation. Let them search. Let them stumble. Let them find nothing. Nothing but the truth of my autonomy. Every pause, every withheld word, every unreacted moment reverberates like a statement of sovereignty. I do not exist for their validation. I do not bend to their chaos. I do not perform to satisfy expectation. Silence. It is not retreat. It is rebellion. It is strategy. It is freedom made tangible. And in this quiet declaration, I rise, unshaken by the storms they conjure. My power is absolute, because it is deliberate, because it is mine, because it needs no witness. Let them grasp, let them rage, let them collapse, and I stand, steady, calm, undisturbed, sovereign. I am the shadow they feared. I am the silence that shatters their cries. I am the calm they cannot disrupt, the reckoning they ignored. Let them hate, let them fear, let them fall, and I will stand. Every pulse of my being resonates with the authority of self-determination. Every withheld word, every unreacted spark, forges me sharper, steadier, stronger. I am untouchable. I am unstoppable. I am the storm that cannot be weathered, the shadow that cannot be pierced, the silence that cannot be breached. This is the apex. This is the truth. This is power distilled to its purest form. They cannot provoke me. They cannot control me. They cannot undo what I have claimed. For I am sovereign, autonomous, and entirely unshaken. I am quiet, and in that quiet, they are undone. I am calm, and in that calm, I rise. I am absence, and in that absence, I prevail. I am untouchable. I am unstoppable. I am complete, and I will stand.